Hi everyone, I'm going to show you how I order custom design notepads with PrintsWell Fulfillment. I love a custom notepad. This is my custom one that has all the things that I need day to day, my perfect little business layout for how my brain works. And I think there's just so many different possibilities for these custom notepads. So these are two that I have designed here in Illustrator. And one of them is like, I play spades, it's a card game with my friends, and we always play boys versus girls. And so I just made this cute little design that we can use as a notepad for scorekeeping. And then this one is kind of my branding pieces, and it says get sheet done. And I'm going to send that to my new assistant that I'm hiring just as a little welcome gift. So she has a notepad to use for all the things that we talk about together. So the first thing that you'll want to do is just log into PrintsWell and check out the different options. They offer so many different things, and they're my number one favorite stationery printer for just so many things I'll show you in a second. If you're new here and you haven't signed up with them yet, please use my link. You can get $25 off of your first order with them. And I'll show you all the different things that they offer. So when you click start order, you can see all the different products in this drop down. I mean, we're starting off really hot with coasters, belly bands, envelopes, Euroflap and straight flap envelope liners, flat cards. That's probably the most common one I use for imitations. They do gold foil stamping and a bunch of different other colors, gift tags, bookmarks, placemats, magnets, notepads, stickers, just like so many different things. And then all these fold options are like paper that's folded in different ways. So brochures, bifolds, quad folds, Z folds, etc. So just so many cool options. I have a lot of videos about them on my channel. So if you're curious how to order anything from this list, just check those out. I promise you I have a video on it. Or if I don't, leave me a comment and I'll make it. So today we're going to do notepads, of course. And you can see so many different sizes. You can basically make a custom notepad in all these different sizes. For instance, like an 11 by 17 would be so cute for like custom placemat notepads. Those are so fun. Like you don't think of it as a notepad, but if you could do different party placemats that are reusable and you can just tear it off and use it, so much fun. So I chose a couple of different sizes for these. Let's see. I chose the 3.625 by 8.5, and then I chose the 5.5 by 8.5 as well. So those are the two sizes, this one right here, and then the 5.5 by 8.5. So when you are setting up your files, they do have some information in this need help section. They have a lot of information about file setup if you're curious, but you basically want to set it up as the final cut size for your artboard. I design in Illustrator. You can design in Canva, Photoshop, like wherever you want, but you want your final file size to be the cut size plus a 0.125 or 1/8 inch bleed on all four sides. And that's this red line around the edges. I have another video on bleeds, but if you're setting them up in an Illustrator, you'll just go into your document setup and your bleed will say 0.125 inches on all four sides. So your final file will actually be 1/4 of an inch bigger in both directions. So this one is 5.5 by 8.5. When I finally save it out to upload to PrintsWell, my final file will be 5.75 by 8.75, and that includes those bleeds. So when you're designing, what you want to do with the bleeds is any design that goes to the edge of the paper, you want to make sure it goes all the way to the edge of the bleed so that when they cut it down, you won't have any weird like white spots. If this went directly here and it was cut a little bit over, you might see some of that white spot. So we just want to pull that out to the edge. If it goes to the edge of this red line, you are good to go. So all of these are good to go. None of this design goes to the edge of the paper, so I don't really need to worry about that on my design, but I do need to make sure my file size for PrintsWell does include that additional size and space for the bleed, even though my design is not using it. And the best thing about PrintsWell is they'll tell you if you do this wrong. So I'll show you how to save this out and then upload it, and I'll do one of them right and one of them wrong so that you can see what will happen. So here we have artboard 1 is our 3.625 by 8.5, and I'll just go up to save as. We'll save this one as Girls and Boys Spades Notepad. And we want to save it as an Adobe PDF. And we want it to click this Use Artboard, and our range is going to be just number 1. I always uncheck Preserve Illustrator Editing Capabilities. It can make the file size a little bit smaller. And then in Marks and Bleeds, you just want to check that you have that 0.125. So if you didn't set that up in the document settings, you could just add it here, oops, by clicking up 1 right there. But since we do have it in this document settings, that's okay. And then I'll save the second one as Get Sheet Done. Again, we want it to be a PDF, and we want this range to be 2. Now I'm going to save this one without bleeds just to show you what happens if you accidentally do that. And then one last thing is you will want to make all of your text outlines. I had kind of already done that. So this is something that PrintsWell requires, and it just makes sure that it will print really well. So I'm going to type my name here and show you exactly how to do that. So all of your text before it's ready to print, this is still editable. I can still change it to whatever I want. And so I'll just right click and do create outlines. And now I can't retype that. It's kind of settled into the document. And that will help it print better on their end. So now that my files are ready, I'll go into our PrintsWell dashboard. I'll click start order. Navigate down to that notepad, and I'll do my 3.625 first. Now there's 2 different paper options, the smooth bright white and the eggshell white. I almost always use the eggshell white. It feels nicer to write on, in my opinion. It's got a little bit of grit to it, and it's a little bit heavier. If you want a really thin sheet of paper, this one is, it's not copy paper, I promise. It's like twice as thick as copy paper, but it's a little bit thinner. It's smooth, and it's a brighter white. So the eggshell white is a little bit softer of a white. It's personally my favorite for notepads, but either one is really great. And then you can choose 50, 75, or 100 sheets in your notepad. And then it'll tell you, you know, this is going to be $6.50 a piece. And right here, you can change how many you're ordering if you want to. So now I'll select my girls and boys spades notepad, upload it, and this is where it'll tell you if you did something wrong, but you can see your final file. This always looks a little blurry to me, but don't worry about that. It will not affect your file quality. Click next, and then review our order. Make sure we've got the paper we want, the number of sheets we want, etc., and then we can add to cart. Now let me just show you that again and show you what happens if we accidentally did something wrong. I think that's my favorite part about PrintsWell is like you're never going to send an order and then have done something wrong and get them in the mail and they're just completely, absolutely wrong. So if you design something wrong, like if I spelled a word wrong or something, they're not necessarily going to catch that. But if I were to size the file wrong or something, they do have a lot of fail-safes in place for you to help you out. And so you'll see different sizes have different sheet count options. So we'll do our 50 again. These are going to be $8.39 each. And then we'll do get sheet done. Okay, so as we're uploading this, it's telling us no bleed, not recommended, but acceptable. So that means our final size is the exact size of the file. If it was a totally different size, like if we tried to upload this one here, it's going to say, hey, this is not the correct size. So you want to go back and change those file settings. I'm just going to continue to upload it. This one, it will allow you to still upload. If there's no bleed, like if there's no design that goes to the edge of the paper, it's probably going to be fine and it's no big deal. But in this case, there is design that goes to the edge of the paper. So it's up to me to decide if I want to do that or resize. I would always resize the file, but for the purpose of this video, we won't do that. And then we have our order ready to go. And you can see everything that you've ordered here. You can also go back and add all of those different types of products that we mentioned. So it's really fun because they just have so many different options. And they have just so many capabilities that you really can do a lot with them. Here is where you can ship to your client directly. If they order something, like I would ship this directly to my friend that I was making it for. And you can actually do branded packaging, which is really fun. So if you do a custom ship to address, I have another video on how to do branded packaging. You can set it up so that they put your own branded like stickers and cards in it so it looks like it came from you and not PrintsWell. But otherwise you can choose your delivery methods. And then if I had a credit card set up here, we would also see our rush options. And so you can make sure that it's going to go out a little bit faster if you need to, just for an additional fee, which is really nice. So absolutely love ordering here with PrintsWell. It's such a wonderful company, and I think these notepads are just so fun. So you can make really cool like calendars. You can do those pair of placemats, like I mentioned. You can do notepads of all different sorts. I do score sheets for games a lot because I'm like a huge like board game, card game type of person. So I love making kind of customized scorecards as gifts for people. I love making custom grocery lists, just all the kinds of things that you need. And it's so much fun because you can completely design it yourself and get it printed out with whatever layout works for your brain. Like this one helps me a lot in business, but you could do like a planner layout. You could do a layout for like some of your ADHD habits. You could do a habit tracker. You could do a workout tracker, just so many different things. So if you enjoyed this video, I hope you'll let me know what you think. If you do work with PrintsWell Fulfillment, then please use my links because you can get $25 off of your first order. Let me know what questions you have, and while you're here, watch some of our other videos about all the wonderful things you can do with PrintsWell. Thanks, everyone.